which is kila mtu atoke, you know, we just clear the swamp basically. Thank you.
Okay, Boiti, then we can hear from Mariam.
Thank you so much, Mkenya. I'm obliged to be in this space and to actually get the chance to share. My name is Boit. I'm a Gen Z. I'm also a healthcare provider. I trained as a nurse not so long ago, but I've had some practice and some experience in the field as well. So I'm sharing in this space because I feel like this personally touches me, and doesn't just touch me, it touches all of us. And before I just mention anything else, I'm feeling sorry and empathic for the families and friends who have lost people, who have lost their relatives, who have lost part of the communities in this fight. And we honor those lives so much. We stand with them in this hard time, and we will say, and we will still repeat it again, that we will not be dared, we will not be trampled upon and feel so low that we will run out of energy. We will never run out of energy until we meet our objectives. And first of all, speaking about what is happening in the country, I would want to share just a little story for my case. Me myself, I trained as a nurse, and when I was done with college, I was looking for opportunities. I was looking for employment opportunities, especially in the healthcare field. And first thing that came to my mind was to look around nyumbani. And I can tell you for matter of fact that kufanya kazi home ni kitu poa sana. It is so good to be helping and to be working close to your people. You tend to get some lot of satisfaction. You also get to always maintain your standard. So for my case, I started looking for opportunities first from within, and kutafuta hizo opportunities, yes, nilipata opportunity, but the opportunity was in a level 4 facility around nyumbani, and I went there kuomba as a volunteer. And I think that is what happens with most of the youth. Tumefinywa to that point that we cannot be looking for opportunities, that is employment opportunities per se. You are going to beg for a volunteering opportunity, so that you can even be just within that place to even practice what you trained for. Imagine getting to a point that you don't get the chance to practice what your career entails. The only chance you get is maybe beg for the opportunity. So my case, yes, I did so. Na nilipata hiyo chance, yes. I worked in that facility for a long period of time. For a long period of time, even though it was a distance from where I used to stay, I used to make sure that I get to the facility, do my job, assist those people. I can also attest to the fact that the employment rate in Kenya is declining. The employment rate is declining while the age is extending. Watu wako job, people who are not productive enough are still working. People who are not even showing up to work are still working and are still getting paid. I can tell you for a matter of fact from my own point of view, and if you want me to share the fact, yes, it is true that I worked in a facility whereby I used to work in 3 departments. I used to work in 3 departments in a level 4 facility, in a sub-county facility, and mind you, that means there were people who were supposed to fill those positions, of course, in those different departments. Kuna outpatient, kuna maternity, kuna inpatient wards, and sometimes kuna maternal and child clinic, MCH, whereby you have to do weight monitoring and of course nutrition for kids, and vaccination as well. So that time I ran through the place because I was going for the experience first. Yes, I was also going for the passion and actually and I think that is actually my main goal, to assist my people. Nilikuwa nasaidia watu wa home, nilikuwa nasaidia people coming to the facility from nyumbani, they come meet me, and I used to actually help those people. And let me tell you, and listen to this carefully. The moment I left that facility, I was shredded. I was actually in the point of giving up. I was actually in the point of depression. I was actually in the point of actually giving up with my career, because I could not get any support. I could not get any form of motivation to help me go on, to even travel from where I used to stay all the way. By the way, I remember one time going to beg to the med sup. I told him, man, what is there? Just give me one of the quarters that one of the quarters is a bit empty. Give me some space there. I can live within that place for some time so that I can still work here. The guy told me, this facility, in fact, kuna jamaa anakuja kuingia. And that guy was, I don't know, he wasn't working in the facility. It was, Kume, this guy was actually paying the facility some rent. So imagine, quarters of facilities inarentiwa to someone so that the facility gets money. And at what expense? At the expense of someone who wants to work in that facility not getting a place to stay. It ended that way. It ended in tears, I can say, because I cried, and I cried, of course. Yes, I spoke to my parents and actually made a decision to quit my county, my home county. Nilitoka Baringo. I will not lie. Nilitoka Baringo one night. I didn't even speak to most of the people, didn't let people know. And I left the place and decided to start afresh. I sought friends, started afresh. So that is the position of the Kenyan youth. Imagine being forced to get out of your house, get out of your home, go travel far away. And actually that is what Kenya Kwanza government is doing. They are not even sending us to areas within our country. They are actually sending us far, far, far away from our country. They are telling us, go away, go stay somewhere else, just be sending greetings and maybe money. Maybe when you die, God forbid, or of course it must happen, maybe we'll get you back, and maybe you'll rest with your grandfathers. My friends, that I feel is quite a big, big tragedy for the Kenyan youth to be pushed out of your families, to be pushed out of your communities, to be chased away to look for opportunities from far away. That is a big tragedy. The second thing that I would want to mention, this mess is not just with the politicians that are working in the national government. This mess is all the way down. It is rotten. The system is rotten from the head to the toe, to the last nail. I'm telling you, my county, I do believe, since healthcare was a devolved function, that even my plight, part of it, most of it lay in the county. And speaking about that case still, the counties are not functioning because of what the national government is the picture that the national government is painting. Our county governments are not functioning well. They are not meeting their needs. They are not doing oversight really well because of I don't know, because of the national government making sure, pressing them down. To speak about that as well, the county governments, especially the politicians that work in the county governments, are kind of answerable directly. I don't know by what kind of link to the national government. They work hand in hand. Look at what the governors are saying. The governors are actually running to the way of the president. They're running to the way of Kenya Kwanza. They're running to the government direction so that maybe they can get some favors from it, or maybe business can boom. But at whose expense? At the country's expense. The counties are looting. They are working hand in hand with the national government to loot. National government goes borrowing, inakuja inapea county governments ina make sure hizo coffers zime run dry in whichever way possible, be it per diems, be it going for meetings, be it spending on gates. My county built a 34 million gate for a rough road going to Equator. My county government tried to build a stadium, the first state of the art stadium in Baringo County. I think since Cheboy, since 2013.
Boiti, I think we might have lost you somewhere in your rant, or you guys can hear him, because I can't hear him.
I can't hear him as well.
Okay, Mariam, kindly jump in because it was you next.
Thank you for the opportunity. So if he just gets back up, I'll just turn my mic off. But thank you so much, Mkenya, for this chance to rant my shit out, because I'm so mad. I am so mad. Seeing those bags reminded me of how gunshots zilikuwa zinalia kama success cards kule Rongai. I mean, tulikuwa tuna joke about hizo sauti za tokens. It was used as a joke juu ya reverse ya gari. Saizi ni gunshots. And these Azimio people are aligning themselves and they're trying to preach tribal lines in tulishafuta. I mean, why is Gladys Wanga telling Luos that this is not their fight? I mean, they are all Kenyans. This is a Kenyan fight. Na wanafaa kuacha kusema stories za Gen Z. Hii tena si Gen Z. Gen Z tulianza kusema, by the way, mmeenda sana. Hii story ya mnaiba na mnatembea venye mnataka na vitu zenye mmenunua na pesa zetu inaishia hapa. Now, when we stood up for ourselves, they joked. When the first lot ilianza, that we even were able to like kuwaonyesha we can come out, we come all na tuambia, by the way, we don't want these jokes. Then Ishungu akasema ati watoto wanakuja na iPhones. By the way, Mr. Msamehea, Kimani Kuria, Kimani Ishungwa, I will never forgive you two, because you are the people who have brought yote boiled down to this. Kimani Ishungwa alikuwa head of planning and nini committee time ya Uhuru, na saizi he was the one who initiated nini debt ceiling endelea kupanda. Saizi acha niache juu kiendelea I'll rant myself to death. So nikaona tena akina Sifuna na wengine wanaanza kusema ati we didn't read the conflict of interest bill. Walianza kutoa the same script kwa the KK politicians. Actually, I am for draining the whole swamp. How wote waende? If they already had their chance to serve, and if they have not served until now, washatuonesha their true colors. Uwezi toa mtu hapa na umpeleke kwingine. Kama alikuwa mtu mbaya point A, atakuwa a far much worse person point B, because point B atakuwa na proximity to power ama power itself. That's one. Two, death in these past few weeks has been minimized to an unfortunate casualty. Yani mse anakufa na watu wanaifanya ikae kama ameanguka ama ako na homa. Mimi nasikia kuna tweet alisema haizi toa hizo 8 bullet wounds kwa akili yake. Hiyo wiki ya Rongai mimi sikuwa nalala kama nalia. Sasa naona hata hii ni weekend nalia tu ndo nilale. I cannot believe this is a Kenya I live in. Tunapendana, tourists wanatujua sisi ni watu wenye we are very warm people. But sasa mmefanya kifo inakuwa ni kama homa. Ni kama malaria, mkipata tu quinine utapona. Life manze is sacred across all forms of worship and beliefs. Everyone, I even believe scientists know that life is sacred. So story ya wase wanaanguka tu, wanaangushwa, hata sikuanguka, wanaangushwa, and they're still abducting people. Why is a mother crying ati mtoto wake hajapatikana tangu 18th? Na saizi tuko what? Date 13. Mtoto wake ako wapi? Tuko 5 days kumaliza 1 month. Mtoto wake ako wapi? Mbona tunaona watoto wako kwa kwari? Mbona tunaona mama amekuwa kwa gunia na mtoto wake? Mbona walitudanganya wakatugaslight, wanatuambia ati it didn't even happen. Nyinyi mnasema false. Hey, every time I think about all his pressers and all of hizo sit downs, because your round table ndio ilinichafua roho kabisa. I'm never listening to anything that is being said. Wacha tu news nisome to draft, because naweza jipata nimegonga mkono nikajiumiza. Apart from minimizing death, we minimize the value of money. I was telling my colleagues a few days ago that ukipewa milioni moja utafanya nini na hiyo pesa? Hata 1 million umepewa hivi, 1 2 3 1 million, shika, fanya kile unataka nayo. What will you do with that kind of money? Na unaona tu someone anajiangalia anasema yenyewe ni pesa mob sana, and it's life changing money for a lot of people. Heck, 100,000 is life changing money for most people. But saizi wamefanya millions inakani kama sao, wamefanya billions ikaeni kama hiyo ni pesa kidogo, tutajua vinye tutaipata. And they still wanted to get in a lot of money out of our pockets. Wakati people are so depressed, mtu anafikiria anaamka anaenda kazi, naenda kazi na wananitoa hizi do zote na sijui wananipelekea wapi hizi pesa. Na sasa hata unashangaa mtu ananiambia ati isa ni 900,000 peke yake. Boss, hiyo 900,000 inaweza nibadilisha maisha yangu vizuri sana. Like, we really need to remember the value of money. Tukumbuke vile ukipoteza 50 bob times za Kibaki ama Uhuru ulikuwa unasikia, hiyo pesa imeenda wapi? Sasa ukipoteza chwani unasikia kama utachizi juu hiyo chwani ilikuwa ikusort stuff fulani. Remember, bila 50 bob thou si thou. Wow. Better nasikia tu nini. And then people wanna front individuals with integrity issues. Mtu alisema ati sijui huyo pia anaitwa aje? Babu. Ati Babu Owino akue kitu inaitwa aje? CS wa education. Mimi nasikia gani chukue hii simu yangu nipitishe mkono yangu niwapige makofi kali sana, because you are not serious. Why are we fronting people? Your leader should be one more intelligent than you. Anafaa kuona mbele kuliko wewe unaona, beyond his nose. Jendo anafaa kujua mimi ninawapenda nyinyi na ninajua what will take you to the next level. I will have to sacrifice my blood, sweat and tears to actualize what my vision and nini for you. Si mtu anakuwa CS, how are you changing the education system na hamna nini walimu wa kuback up your system? Alafu mnatuambia kwanza ule mwenye ana track hizo promises alinifurahisha sana. Tuliambiwa healthcare itakuwa free by October 2023. October 2023 akakuja akasema mnachiki Januari mtakuwa mnaingia hivi kwa hosi bila kulipa. Januari ikafika. Kasema ngojeni tuangalie, tunatengeneza bill itawasafishia rada kabisa. Tumeingia June, saizi anasema by the way hii finance bill ndio ingesaidia kila kitu. Sasa finance bill kutolewa imekuwa scapegoat to all the impunity wamekuwa kificha, which is absurd. And quite frankly, we need to be so mad mpaka unajiguza hivi unasikia wewe umekuwa jiko, unaweza chemsha maji. Mimi nikiongelelea hii serikali na kuwa moto mpaka naambiwa nitulie kwanza juu sauti inapanda, akili inakuwa moto, ninakuwa too erratic, because I cannot believe we've let this go. This rot imefika mpaka you are telling someone because we are fighting for our rights, anasema hata ujue huyo rais wenu wa Gen Z tukimchagua tutamua tu. Like mtu haamini we can actually change these things. Na that is where kazi itaingia. Kazi itaingia kuongelesha wazazi wetu, our aunts, our uncles, baba zetu, mama zetu. Like tunawaambia, mjue mimi naamini hii nchi inaweza kuwa great for all of us. We can all have a piece of that cake. Si ati mtu ako huko juu anatuambia kile tunafanya. Ni yeye anatuambia, by the way, niko na hii idea for this. Sisi tunamwambia, hiyo ingefanya hivi na hivi. We have enough intellectuals in this country to give us better ideas. No, our IBC are reconstituted. Tunawa recall. And we are not only recalling them, we are telling them, wewe ulituambia umefanya 700 and nini million na hii project. Hizo project ni hizi vibanda tunaona hapa. Hapana, you have to go to court and you have to return that money. Juu kama exchequer inasema ulipata pesa na wewe unasema ulifanya kazi na hiyo pesa na kwa ground tunaona ni mabati, hatuwezi kubali. We should expect more from our leaders. Na mimi kama Gen Z, mimi kama Mariam, I'm not saying I want to be a leader. Mimi sisemi ati mniweke sasa kwa hiyo position. Mimi nasema, first of all, you have to have experience. Miaka yangu haikubali nikuwe CS. Let us just say the truth. Because kuna experience lazima nikuwe nayo. I have to be exposed to some situations that will help me nijue nikikaa tu hivi naona by the way hii inafanya hivi. I cannot be a PS because again, experience. Accolades. Shule, saizi university degree imekuwa sasa hakuna difference na public na private. I think the only difference ni prestige na nini na actually having lecturers there. What is happening? What is happening? Mimi nilikuwa nachukia 844 nikiwa kwa system, but right now I'm looking at everything that happened. I was like, if we just tweaked it kidogo, it could have gone so far. See, we scrap the whole thing and bring on a new thing. That is what they want to do with NHIF. Na NHIF wananitumia text. Wananitumia text mkiniambia nini? Mwache mchezo. And these people, public people, don't even know how to read the room. How are you still having meetings when we are fighting for this country? How are you still walking around saying, hey Kenya, we are seeing the change, but we still have to sit down in these board meetings to join in it? Why? Can't you all see that we are really fighting? How is that a whole doctor? Mtu aliinuliwa mabega akiwa class 8. Mtu akainuliwa tena mabega akiwa form 4. Saizi amefanya kazi, amesoma, hamtaki kumpea kazi. Na mimi nataka shushu yangu asianze kusikia lazima kuje Nairobi ndio asaidiwe. Si lazima twende Nairobi West ama Nairobi Hospital. Nataka akienda hapo tu hiyo hosi enye iko hapo. The only referral anafanyiwa ni kwenda the level 4-5 enye iko kwa county yako. So we have a lot of work to do. Hashtag Ruto must go to infinity, but we have to understand that hii vita is far from over. We're just scratching the surface. And I'm not diminishing what we've done. We have done a heck of a lot of nini. We've done what we expected the opposition to do in just a few weeks. Na tumefichua a lot of things because tulikuwa tunafurahia wakati Azimio na NASA walikuwa wanatupatia hizi holidays tusiende kazi hizo siku juu ya maandamano. But saizi wakati tuko kwa hiyo position tumeona that they really will do anything to shut us up. Now that's just crazy. That's just crazy, baby. So as really balize as I like wind up, one, tuache kupatia hawa rats opportunity. Ati anafungua space. Acheni login kwa hizo space. Wacheni interact na nini zao. Kama una interact na nini yake unaweka hashtag. Mtu hezi niambia ati A na U ni A na U ni typing error, wezi niambia. And IPOA and all our institutions, we are coming for you. These institutions and systems must work for us. IPOA wache kusema ati hawezi pata the abductees. Mtu alikuwa kwa news walimpata aje? Media house walimpata aje? Huwezi mpata. Okay, so again, thank you so much for this opportunity. In my rant, I think 20 minutes, but thank you so much. And we shall not relent. Ruto must go. Bye.
Okay, thank you, Mariam. I know I can see GC Lane. She was here a little bit earlier. Then Metros, then President. President, you can also jump in after Metros. So GC Lane, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Thanks for the opportunity. And I first want to give my heartfelt condolences to the families which have been affected. We feel bad. It's a bad experience. Actually, I didn't want to look at the way the bodies were retrieved. It's traumatizing. It's heartbreaking. We don't want our country to be in that position. It's not good. Now, for me, I want to touch 3 points. One, about change. This is a good initiative that's going on, and it must get to our president's ears and get to know why people are making noise. It's not in vain, and it's not by default. For one, if we say life is very expensive and unbearable, let him know that it's coming from our hearts. Nobody will be in the streets because they want to be in the streets. It's because of the pain which they are feeling. You look at the way I want to touch on the way the CDF is utilized. For me, that kitty should be scrubbed from the MPs and let it go back to the Ministry of Education. Let government work towards free education. When you look the way the fund is allocated, mostly people are allocated 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. That cannot help you to go through the education system. A lot of corruption back at the MPs, at the constituencies, and as citizens, we are not getting value for the fund. Let the president let the fund go back to the Ministry of Education, and let's have free education. Secondly, I want to touch on the equity when it comes to taxation. You look, we don't have jobs for us. Like me, I graduated, I don't know how many years, but I've stayed in one employment. You apply, you don't get. You apply, you don't get, simply because you don't have a godfather. You accept and work where you are, and life continues. But when you go to these government parastatals and organizations, you get that the people working there are very incompetent. You go to an organization, like KRA, trying to sort something. You talk to the officer and you get that you are ahead of the office, and then you are like, why should an IT person get a job which he can't deliver? He doesn't understand the finance basics. Why finance people are hustling out there looking for jobs? Who loses? It's the organization as a whole. You can't pick an IT person and let the person work on accounting job. Definitely you can't get it. I will maneuver and work the way you want, and you will have to adopt that. Maybe the boss will review and get to know there is a problem, but if the person doesn't deliver, what's the person doing out there? What's the person doing in the office? Let's have the correct people working on it. And then the taxation system. Individuals, currently, the maximum you can be taxed is up to 35%, while corporates are getting it at 30%. Me, I find that one very punitive. You work hard to earn, and then a limited company benefits by claiming the expenses and getting a tax bracket of like a standard of 30%, but an individual is taxed at 35%. Then that beats logic. We don't find that one very friendly. And then for Ruto, the PS, we keep on singing, oh, the CS are very corrupt, the CS are very corrupt, there is corruption in the offices, but who are the accounting officers? It is the PS. Those are the person who make the financial decisions. And if we feel that there's corruption in the government, then it should get to our mind that it's the PS who are the corruption is with the PS. Those are the people who we should hold liable on the corruption which we are speaking about. Let the president, people voted him with confidence because of the way he used to package his manifesto. But currently, as we speak, I don't know whether there's that even 5% trust on him. It will take him to build on that. But having started with the CS, if we fired them, let's not have him bringing back some of his friends in the name of loyalty. If you go through the social media, you can see people trying to ask like Kindiki, Murkomen, sijui who and who do you think is likely to survive? We don't want them. These are the people who have been chest thumping, not understanding the pain as mwananchi are going through. And then for them, they are like, if they earn, we are earning. If life is comfortable, if life is cheap, if they are finding it more pocket friendly, they think that everybody is enjoying the same benefit. It's like they forget that there is the little, the mwananchi, the common mwananchi, who to them, even the 10 shillings matters to them. You can't be speaking to me when I know I have to work from home job for me to get to earn something, while you are driving to a vehicle which is fueled to you, and you don't know the pain of the what people are going through back at the ground. Lastly, to our MPs, we voted for them to represent us, not to represent themselves. Let them try to have more, like, let's have civic education back at the ground and get to understand what the people want. We might not have what you want to hear, but we have what we want, like we will have our views. Like for the finance bill, the ground ilikuwa hawatu hawaitaki. Even Gachagua tried to mention, you are trying to push for this, but kwa ground si kuzuri. MPs ni nani? I don't know what goes through their mind. They get there, they want to pass it na wanawatisha, if kama itapita hakuna CDF. CDF wapi na hata hii pesa hatuonangi. Hiyo si mzuri. When you go to parliament, represent your people. Fight for your people. There's one MP who I always admire. Hata kama anaongea mingi, ana deliver back kwake. And you will never hear people fighting him. Ndindi Nyoro. He has done a lot to his constituents. Hata kama anapiga mdomo huko ndani, he knows what he's doing. At least he's one of the MPs who have made sure classes in schools have at least one child class done by the constituency, which is good. At least ye ukienda utapata watu wanasema he has done this and this. And like wengine, you voted for the guy, he has never spoken, you have never seen representing, even giving a view. Akiitwa simame hata kuji-express is a problem. Then you sit and wonder, how did this person get to the government in the first, how did he gain the seat in the first place? That's not good. Lastly, to the Ministry of Health, the pain is too much. Actually, I've been engaging one person who has been waiting for the release of NHI fund up to now, hawajapata. And then you sit and wonder, if there are no funds kwa hospitali, then which better health scheme are they talking about? Heri hata mabarabara ikae, but you make sure mtu akienda hosi, they are able to run the hospital. The hospital is able to run. Don't put people into a position that you go to the hospital, uwezi hudumiwa because the government has not released fund. Na Kumicha nayo is a mess in our own way, but let's have a good running health system. NHIF was good. Hii shift yenye wanasema it's a scam in waiting. Let the government improve the NHIF scheme if it means well. We don't need a new scheme for us to see change. NHIF ni yetu, wata waran nayo, shift wata wakae nayo. Let's have funds being passed to the hospital. Let's have facilities well financed. Ndio mwananchi tuweze kuwa ukienda hospitali unaweza pata huduma. Otherwise, We need the best for our country, and all we are pushing for is a good life for ourselves. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. President, I hope you are still there. Okay, kindly jump in because Metro's dropped. So are you there? Can anyone hear Harrison? President Harrison?
No.
Because I can see his mic is on, but I can't hear him. So, Harrison, if you're having an issue, I don't think the rest of the people can hear you. Okay. Then as we are waiting for Harrison, you can just talk around your mic or whatever connection, whatever setup you have there, so that you can speak. So we see what will happen.
Hello.
Yes, yes. Kindly jump in.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good
Are
afternoon.
you here? Are
Yeah, we
you
can hear you
hearing
now.
me?
Yes, I
Thank
can
you
hear
so
you.
much. I have an opinion concerning what is going on in the country. There is something that we cannot take it lightly because most of our people are actually being butchered, actually being massacred in a fraudulent way that we cannot take it lightly as the people of the Republic of Kenya. The past years, during the campaign, the president gave us very good promises that we thought he could fulfill. But what we are actually seeing currently is the opposite of what he used to talk about. First of all, he said that there will be no extrajudicial killing, abductions that used to happen in the past, but he has now come and made it to exist because of the security he wants being with. He wants to be, he wants to be pampered. He wants people to continue listening to him and dictating people in a way that he wants for his interest. But this is a new generation. Everybody is actually feeling the pain of taxation, a difficult life that actually he has caused in our nation, that we cannot continue keeping quiet and listening to what is going on. It's not actually fair to everybody. And that is the reason why we are saying we shall not relent, we shall continue fighting for our rights, and everybody has a right to exercise his democratic, right of speech of expression, so that at least we can get to our best views be heard. Thank you so much. May God bless you.
Uh, okay, Victorious, are you there? Thank you, Harrison, for that submission. Okay, I'm accepting the mics, Miss Jali. I'm trying to accept them. My co-host, I don't know what's up with his mic. Ikubali kupanda, but Victorious.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity that you have given me. I have a very few submission to put in place concerning the situation that is on the ground. Currently, we are not in a good situation because, like, we are not actually secured. It basically means we don't have the government that is there to protect us all over the country. What happened in the quarry, the body of people who actually found at the quarry dump site is an indication that the government is actually not keen in ensuring that people are protected. Secondly, issues of bad governance. Indeed, it has been so much rampant all over the nation, within the country. It's like we devolve corruption. We did not devolve resource allocation to Kenyans. It's like we devolve corruption, and we cannot continue having corruption east, west, and center. Leaders have actually been making this nation out to be rogue. We actually not going in the right direction. So I actually support this issue of disbanding all the cabinets and also all the government at all, so that we can have a fresh government that will listen to the voice of the common mananchi, what the people want. Look at this issue of finance bill. If I can, maybe we can just reflect back. People, everybody was against the issue of finance bill. But the picture that our member of parliament, the MPs whom we elected, showed us was an indication that they are only there for their own interest and the interest of supporting the so-called president, but not the common mananchi. They should always be reflecting on the people who sent them there. The constitution is very clear that the power belongs to the people, and the people can take that power at their own hands anytime. And that is what we did during the rejection of finance bill. And it was evidence that indeed we spoke loudly and we were heard. And that is the reason why financial bill was dropped. Otherwise, if it could have come out so strongly, then this finance bill could have been put in place. And this is what could actually been infringing economic condition of all Kenyans. Because what contained in the finance bill was very vague, very wrong, and actually it was like the government was trying to steal resources from the public indirectly. When they talk of, you know, submitting levies to the lands that are in urban centers, suppose the owner of the land fails maybe to remit these levies, does it mean that the government will take that land of his or her? What will be the indication? The indication will be the government will have snatched the land from this person, and this is maybe an ancestral land. That is the reason why the MPs should always be reasoning to what people are saying on the ground. What do people want? What do they want? The MPs are there to represent our interest, not their personal interest, not the interest of the president, not the interest of even their families. It is even unfair for the government to always, you know, create offices for some of the people, like the first lady, second lady, the wife of the cabinet, the prime cabinet. What for? That is misusing of our resources. And they have to come and tax us so that they can pay their wives. It's like the government has now been meant to be an individual kind of business, one way of now colliding with churches so that the churches can also support whatever they are doing. No wonder we came out so strongly and told all the church members not to allow any business issues of fundraising in the church should not even be done, because where do they get this money from? They cannot even account for whatever they take to the church. If somebody starts bragging with a resource that he has purchased, just a watch worth 90,000, 100,000, and there is a Kenyan somewhere sleeping hungry, doesn't have even a slice of bread to put on the table. These people they are not actually fair to Kenyans. They are not human enough. They are not courteous. They don't feel what we do feel on the ground here. In summary, the government is not ready to support all Kenyans, and something must be done. We must do something so that at least we can sanitize all the section of the government. We can replace these corrupt leaders with very good leaders with the vision and focus for Kenya. We let us continue operating in a tribeless manner, in a leaderless manner, but we champion our views so that our views can be heard all over the nation. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm trying to. Yes, I'm seeing all your requests. There was Wild Flow and there was Kim Peters. So Wild Flow, are you still there? Wild flow. I notice sometimes tunajitanga hizi username, we forget. Okay, Sarah K Mbia. Are you there? Okay. Kim's Peter. Are you there?
Uh,
Can you
Hello.
get me?
Okay. Kim's hold on. Let me hear from Wild Flow. Are you there?
So Kenya Dahima, actually I have a question to the Kenyans or to the government. I know the parents won't be able to listen to this space or to hear their issues. It's so sad when actually the parents are paying a lot of money for the students to join campus, yet for the campus students wanaambiwa like it's a government sponsored. You get the point? I've been checking like some of the receipts, and it's so sad that parents are paying up to 600,000 for a student to learn in actually self-sponsored university. I don't know if you have actually seen their runs, but no one cares. If you go to the medicine school or any other school, the fees imeenda juu. You can get like they're paying more than 550. We don't mind them paying that. They're paying 550, that is per semester. In 4 years, that is like 2 million or 2.1 million. Alafu wanakuja kuwa frustrated na kumicha. That is so wrong. The students are not even going to get the internships they want. There's no opportunities out here. And then the parents have struggled. These are the same parents who are waiting for their kids to come and support them. I really don't get a point whereby the fees inaongezeka like in a triple in other institutions, and then we have other institutions that they are lower. Na hakuna mtu amekuwa akiongelea the whole story. I understand parents are not in this space. They are not here. It's us to actually bring out these issues. We need to streamline the education sector. We need to know why are they paying that a little bit. It's not good when we actually leave them to do everything. Because imagine nimeingia first year, my parents can't afford to pay even 200,000. You're giving them to pay 550,000. This is my passion. I want to do medicine. Yes, I got an A. Alafu inafika point I can't because I have to drop out because my parents don't have money. Yet kwa gava wanasema it's self-sponsored. How can it be self-sponsored when we are here ranting about the school fees? How can you triple the school fees and tell us it's self-sponsored? We need to streamline the education sector. We need to streamline actually all government sectors to ensure that it's actually something that is fair to everyone. Because the burden they're giving to parents, it's not like something we should even keep quiet. To be honest, it still pains the parents. I know they're not in this space. Hawako Twitter, hawako Facebook to rant. They're selling their whole land to make sure their kids wanasoma. Alafu wanakuja kuwa frustrated. These are the same parents wamebaki bila. There is no land. Get someone selling 5 acres of land for the kid to actually go through first year, second year, third year, fourth year. Akimaliza kusoma, there are no jobs out here. No one cares about them. They're being told, kama mnataka jobs, go abroad. That is not the right thing to do. And first, they must tell us why are the kids paying that a lot of money ndio wasome government institution. If it's not self-sponsored, tell them to crack all what they don't want. Let the parents start like paying full amount. Na ukuwe sure watoto wao watapata kazi than even frustrating the parents more than the students. That is what I wanted to say honestly. And I think we must talk about the education sector. It really pains the parents. And it pains me because they are not here on the space to talk about it. They're out there selling their land.
Was able to accept several mics here. I don't know whether for Kim's Peter.
Hello, can you get me? Am I audible?
Yeah, you are. Go on.
Okay, thank you. I just try to be brief. I'm Kimathi Peter. and I'm a teacher. Maybe let me, before I come to what is happening in education, maybe I can just say what is happening generally. First, I would just like to say sorry for our brethren that have lost their lives. And this is what happens with this government. And this is why we are not supposed to relent. We are supposed even to work even harder, because when they cool us down, what happens now is that they start following us one by one. Now let me just quickly say something about education, and most I'll just talk of the JSS because on the CBC, because this is where now everyone is heading to. Now, I was a teacher in JSS, but as we study now, I'm a terminated teacher. And my due, I'm almost that plus years, and I graduated in 2018. And I've stayed outside for all those years, only to get an opportunity as intern, and again to get a termination. Now, what happened? So most of us, we did not do education because we lacked any other cause. For example, personally, I had a very strong B plus, but I said, let me just take education because I love this thing and I want to mold a lot of lives. Now, when we went to JSS, we loved that the new structure, because we thought, yeah, this is a good one. But when we went to that school, things were not right. So we went there as interns, and upon getting to the schools, we have these learning areas, the learning areas. So you know that the curriculum designers, they have redesigned the books, the curriculum. And we have new learning areas. Some of them are combined. We have creative art and sport. We have something like computer is combined with business, is combined with pre-technical studies. My due, there are no books. So when you ask these people, so how do you want us to do it as teachers? Ati wanakuambia, a teacher should do what? A teacher should be creative. So, and you get that the content of this thing is, most of the content is the one that was in Form 1, Form 2, Form 3. These schools have no labs. And you are setting a teacher there, you are paying that teacher 17,000. And this teacher was trained to teach just 2 subjects. And you are telling this teacher now, you have to teach more than 7 learning areas. And these learning areas, there are no books. I just want to, because I know some of us are teachers, are parents of these, or some of them are even our brothers and sisters. Go and ask if there is any book that is written pre-technical that is encompassing computer, business, and others. In other words, we are wasting these students. So when we ask, we are told that teachers should be creative, yes. And we say then, let us be creative. But how can you pay a teacher living in a town 17,000? Now, when we did ask of this, we were told, you people are not patient. Just be patient and these things will be sorted. And we decided to be patient. But what was happening, so that we were angered and decided to go to the street, is that we are being told that there is no money to confirm the GSS teachers, but the MPs are dishing out letters, the PNP letters, out, in the barrios everywhere. In the county that I was, just December holiday, fresh graduates, 60 of them were given letters, PNP letters to high schools. And I'm here, a 2018 graduate, working as an intern. Nikiuliza naambiwa hakuna pesa. And these people are just doing it. So this government is so corrupt. Everything is rotten. And when you speak your mind, what they do is that they punish you. So we went to the street. Of course, what the government does is that it dwells on confusion, division, yeah, because walikuja wakatundanganya wakaingia kwa Kupet. Kupet, of course, na NAT wako kwa mfuko moja na serikali. They are not again fighting for the teachers. So waliingia kwa Kupet ikatuambia, now teachers, it's time to go back to class, and we agreed. In fact, all the teachers went back to class by that. But what followed after that? The TSC went, even after going to class, it went back and sacked 798 teachers. And this teacher was sacked because he was on the street protesting for their right, even not for their right, for this kid. Because we were asking, how can we be in this class, a so demotivated teacher, no books, no internet, everything in the CBC, because I know you have seen those books, involves internet, involves practicals. There is no lab, there is no internet in those schools. This teacher is so demotivated. And I can assure you now, just go to those classes or to those schools and find out nothing is going on. Now, what will happen is that we are wasting our generation. And that's something that is giving us, as the Gen Zs and millennials, the mind and the mindset that we have and the creativity that we have, it is because of education. But now, this generation, we are wasting a generation in the names of CBC. The CBC is good, but these politicians are just killing education. So this is the mess that is happening. So we have seen that these teachers were sacked because of fighting for their right. I want to connect this with what is happening nationwide. This government now is following the Gen Zs, killing them, abducting them. That is what happens in all sectors. So they just want you to just keep quiet. As things go bad, you just keep quiet and just say, let it happen. But we cannot allow that. So these people, the people that are in those offices, these old people, they just want to work in those era, the more eras when you are supposed just to follow whatever is there, even if it is messing up. So I would like to urge you, as we push other things, there are some things that cannot wait. Education cannot wait. These learners, we are wasting them. So it is the high time, as we talk of other things, we should have the short-term goals and the long-term goals. So I think education, health, just go to any of the public hospitals. Hakuna madawa, madaktari hakuna. And see at Kenya hakuna pesa, Kenya iko na pesa, but what is happening? These people are just wasting these things. I have never supported CDF. I have never supported CDF. If they just have that money as CDF, they collect it in one bag, na ikae iko kwa national, and then waseme education is free, then we shall have a lot of classes. All these schools will be equipped. So we have a lot of things to do. It is not the time to give up. It is not the time to give up. Hata kama wanatundanganya hapa ati sijui the cabinet imekuwa sijui what, ati tunasikizwa, ni uongo. It's just to blindfold us and then they start following us. Wakati joto imepungua ya kila mtu anafuata mtu mmoja mmoja. So as for the teachers, 798 teachers now are at home. Now they were not even given. They were not given even an hearing. It is just a termination letter. It is the same TSC that says that they sacked us because of what they called what? Professional misconduct. We did not act as per that conduct. But the same TSC that is dishing out letters through corruption to the MPs. It's the same. They are saying that they are following the constitution, but the same constitution says that you're not supposed to be sacked without being given a chance to air your things. You just wake up one of the morning and just sack a teacher, you stop the salary, all those things. So this is the mess that is happening. It is in all the areas, everywhere, in health, in counties. So it is the time we wake up and clean up this mess. And let them know that we do not. No, for example, me, what is there to lose now? I'm 31 years old, jobless, graduate, 2018. What now? Even death, I cannot fear death. So this is not the time to fear anything. Let us die if it is dying, but we cannot afford to lose hope. I'm so pained. This is what is happening everywhere. In fact, the TSC should be disbanded. All those commissioners should go home. Everyone in that area. Yeah. So I have a lot of things to say because I know others want also to speak. Just and let us keep on having these spaces and iron out a lot of things. Thank you.
As Mkenya comes, as you have expressed, Kim Peter, I agree with you. After we are done with the national government, if there is a place where we don't find value in the counties, misuse of resources, they are allocated a budget, but you will never get to see what has been done. It takes time to feel the impact of the counties. Yes, devolution came with a good advantage of jobs, and some got jobs, and then maybe infrastructures have improved, but compared with the budget allocated, we haven't seen good utilization of the budget of the funds allocated. Hiyo inakuanga ni kaskam kengine which kinda is a burden. The governor is there to allocate jobs to his kins and friends, tenders to his friends and whoever they want, but the community, you'll never get to feel that impact of having that county. If you ask most of the citizens, the counties are failing us. That's another area we want to smoke out and get to let them account for what they are given for. If they can't deliver, there are people who are willing to work. Actually, if you look at people who are trying to invest their private resources, like unapata mtu amechukua pesa zake anajenga barabara, you can quantify the little resources they have and the good work they have done. But for counties, oh, we can't pay the doctors, and you sit and wonder what happens to their budget allocation. Kama ni fund inawasumbua, it was a mistake to devolve the health function. Let it go back to the national government, ideal nayo mara moja, ndio wasishinde kutupigia makelele.
Okay, there was Dr. Darwin, sijui kama unanisikia.
Thanks, Ken. Thank you, everybody, for this conversation is very resounding. It's associating with the day-to-day problems we wake up to suffer, and I'm grateful that we are engaging even in our various spaces, and I appreciate the convener for an opportunity. I'm an orthopedic surgeon in MTRH. And first of all, even before I say much, let me offer my much respect and honor to our fallen soldiers in the past 3 or 4 weeks. It's with a lot of deep sympathies that we lost comrades who came to the streets to fight for the future of this country, to fight for a standard of life that all of us desire. So, even to their families, if any of us in this space belong to family and friend, you just did not lose a son, a daughter, or a friend, but to us in the wider scope, you lost a comrade who had the country at heart. And saying this, this has been made from the streets. So we have been created in the streets, and the streets have delivered for us. And so we cannot unbound from the streets. We shall push through the streets. It is from these streets that chaff has been separated from the purity of gold. So may the street long live. And because we've also realized that a voice voiced from the corridors of the street is a voice that resonates even in the midnight's darkness. The echo of our sound still roams those streets. So we shall remain unbound, we shall remain very vigilant, and we shall keep on pushing. And you see, there's a saying that says, there's an old African say that says, the hunter who comes home with a cow is definitely a thief. You cannot leave in the morning and you bring for us a cow at night. And so politicians have delivered to us what belongs to us, but not what we expected them to deliver. They have gone and pilfered from the funds that we've given to them, and they have brought to table. And so definitely they are thieves. They have vampired on our blood and sweat. They have danced on our graves and partied over the high poverty index levels that them themselves have created. They have disrespected us and molested our integrity and our patience. And with their rot and impunity and the stink, so we have arisen. And this is the voice that must roll on in this country. So we saw past few days CSS being sacked. To me, that's not enough. That's not where the rot is. There is a deeper, bigger rot. It is smelly everywhere. We have seen people being given parastatals basing on their surnames. We've seen nepotism, people employing who and who that they know. We have seen people who are underqualified holding public offices of high ranks, and such things. We must see the river of cleansing which is flowing down. Clean such debts. So just firing CSS and some of them are using they are sacking for clout chasing. They are writing very beautiful tweets as if nothing happened really. Like you've been there, you've stunk on us, and they have told you sit down. And as you're sitting down, you're showing us your teeth, you're showing us your middle finger. No, we do not care. Like you're supposed to be apologizing. EACC is supposed to be in your house collecting the pilferages and the loot that you took from the citizens. So we will not celebrate and say, oh, the 21 CSS, now that they have gone, we are seeing the president do something, so we should just sit there and clap. The 21 just stole a 16th of the loot that this country has lost. When Kibaki came, he came with a vision, envisioned on 2030. But you see, this government has given a 2030 blueprint, a poverty blueprint. What was intended to be for good, we are just few years away from 2030, about 6 years. We cannot compare the vision that Kibaki had then. Like right now, even we are like 40 steps behind, because politicians have come and they came with drooling tongues and desire to loot. And we've seen everywhere, in every ministry, they have politicized education. How can we have the students sit exams and all of them get 75% in a subject? Like, where is the normal distribution curve? Like, these guys are leaders, but they don't think, they do not apply the law of order. You pass people at 75 from index 1 to index last, and then those are the students you send to Moi or KNH or Egerton to do medicine, and we are trying to teach them. These guys cannot understand. You're trying to show them. And then you realize these are the creation of the politicization of education. So we cannot also just sit back. Health has been extremely politicized. Thank God to the seated down Nahumicha, and her face should not appear anywhere on matters related to health, because she was the biggest letdown of all times. We've had our interns camping at MOH, and we thank you the entire public for standing with us. Thank you for supporting us. Those tweets you make about Occupy MOH as giving us support and saying interns must be paid. Maybe let me just use this brief time to tell you what an intern goes through. When an intern goes to school, they take 6 years to become doctors. Say an intern is a parallel student who's being trained by a poor parent back there in the village. They sell everything to have these young people trained. The school fees is very high. By the time you finish 6 years, you have used close to over 5 million in fee, and add another 1 million to sustain you around and about school. So it is very expensive and very long to train a doctor. And then you have these people come out, and we are very few, and then you say we are going to pay you 70,000 gross. When you add your housing levy and all those shitty things you add, then you reduce the amount to close to 30 something, or close to which is less than, let's just say 50,000. How will a doctor who's supposed to work an entire night, an intern doctor working entire night, work for such amounts of money? How do you remove allowances, risk allowance, house allowance? So who told these people in Ministry of Health that a doctor who's an intern does not face risk? An intern doctor running any maternity hospital in this country, doing maternity obstetrics and gynecologists rotation, they do over 10 cesarean sections a night. If we use an NHIF rate of 30,000 shillings per cesarean section, one night an intern doctor has delivered 300,000 to that hospital in one night. Tell me about 1 month. In 1 month, the value of one intern doctor, as per the delivery of their work input to a hospital, is over 3 million shillings. So how can you have a worker who's generating over 3 million shillings to your institution, and you say that, oh, we will pay you the 70,000 because there are so many of you? And that's why intern doctors and the doctors fraternity, we are saying we shall occupy MOH, and we welcome all of you. Next week, from Monday, we are occupying MOH. We shall be there on Monday. We do not care of the replacement of Nahumicha, because some of these sticks are handed over from bad to worse. So in our paranoia thinking, we just know we will be here with absolute disbelief that the person who will receive after Nahumicha will know about our matter. So we shall camp there, and we welcome you. So the future is here. The future is now. These people, politicians who kept on telling us, oh, you are the leaders of the future. Nonsense. There is no leader of the future. The future is now. We take it now. We lead it from any space, any influence that we can use to influence, we influence it. And there's a common saying, we say we inject even harder, and continue, because that is the only language the government will understand. The government will understand us more from the language we are speaking in the streets. The language will the government will understand us more from the push we are making. And lastly, my dear comrades, let me say this. We've seen the government coming up with task forces. And I thank the president of LSK. That was very wise of her. From history, memorial, the Musimi report, and all the beautiful task forces which men wore suits and ladies wore vitenges to attend. From time immemorial, task forces have never been the solution. These guys know what we want. You cannot take what we want, because task forces, they are meant to tame public anger. They are meant for PR and reduce your pressure and distribute it over time. And they'll say, oh, we are developing a task force that will be there for 3 months. 3 months from today, we will not be angered as how we are angered now. So we want the government to do what is right. They should not take us through those beautiful talks of, oh, we want task force. And they are picking unionists. They are taking someone from Canaan, taking someone from KMPDU, taking someone from LSK, taking someone from the KUKO, clinical officers, taking NAT. We do not want those things. That is applied to bias into agreeing on what you want to. We will not receive those PRs. So right now, it is the requests and the demands are very clear. Let the government do what is right. Let it pay its doctors, pay its teachers, employ its people, do whatever it's necessary that is required to do, and not take us through these circles of task forces. Thank you. I'm sorry I've taken a little bit of time, but I appreciate. I'll be here to keep on listening. Thank you very much, Mkenya Daima.
Okay, thank you for that submission. I see we have Duo. Yes, Duo held or something. Duo, kindly jump in.
Hello, Mkenya, naweza pea mtu mmoja then I can speak after Mariante kindly. I'm somewhere kindly 5 minutes.
Okay, sure. Mariate, then Dr. Soa.
Yeah, nashukuru Mkenya. Now, yes, I understand that we have got learning. Okay, someone there. We have got doctors like the previous speakers and engineers. So when we are ranting now, when we are doing everything now, as a doctor, if you want to look for a medicine for a certain disease, you go and say, okay, hii ugonjwa ilitokea wapi? What is the so whatever we are doing now, we gave the president that position because he had promised so much. He gave us a narrative that we are going to fight the hustlers versus the dynasty. Now, when we talk about dynasties and hustlers gave him that position, probably, or some, they gave him that position because people had been fed up. Our mothers, our parents, even if we complain, we say that our parents walitufela ama walifanya nini, we were told a narrative that the dynasty failed us. And where does this narrative come from? It comes from when we gained independence, from the land issues, from everything. So if you can start doing everything, we can't just be going round and round that nile handshake ni nini na nini na nini. Kenya is very rich. Kenya has everything that anyone can. Tukisema tu kila kitu iende kwa step, hao watu wanatumia katiba. Like yesterday I was in a certain space. They were planning to, they are sponsoring a bill that is the ICTA bill. So in the ICTA bill, they are trying to counter everything. You cannot, there are so many things a normal person, people like the young content creators, like the TT comedians, to the most followed, to the oldest. They will be required to have a certain credential or accreditation for them to be able to do the content creation. So if you look at that bill, if you are a content creator, you open your Facebook page and you are not certified by the government, and you will be liable to a fine not exceeding 5 million or a prison term. You see, looking at these things, and they are sneaking them in. They give us a certain thing to look out, focus on, but inside the parliament, there are things that they are doing. Kama hii seeds, it passed, and even nobody, so many people, hakuna mtu angeweza kuambia wa Kenya that there is this and that happening. Nobody even noticed so much. So ukiangalia what these people are doing, we gave them a constitution, and this constitution was our constitution. We wanted to tell them, we don't want this and this and that from our representative. But when these people go to parliament, they use the same power that we gave them and utter some statements and make that power, they change it. It's like umewashikia gun, wakiingia hapo kwa parliament, wanakunyang'anya hiyo gun, wanakuwekea kwa kichwa. So whatever we communicate, whatever we nini tunafanya sahi, people, the 2022 vote was a vote to go back back to the drawing board, back yenye tulikuwa tunataka. Being a Kenyan, just being a Kenyan citizen, ukipewa ID sahi, it's like ni kama I don't know, ukipewa ID ni kama umepewa a certain burden. Whereas in Kenya, kama tungekuwa, let me think as a primitive person, a second for a moment. Kenya sahi waka decide that every citizen apate land. Each and every citizen ako liable kupata at least 2 acres. Now, wacha nifikiria as a certain other person. If at all kungekuwa na a good management na a good thing, each being a Kenyan ingekupea unakuwa liable to at least unakuwa at least being a Kenyan, just having an ID ingekuwa kitu kama what do you call this, ingekuwa ni unakuwa birthright yako. Land has to be a birthright as a Kenyan citizen, just having that ID. Sasa hiyo uko na ID lakini you've got nothing to make you useme okay I'm proud to be Kenyan. Okay, how? Kwa sababu your grandfather had land yenye mnagawana like 100 people. Kwa sababu being a Kenyan it's like a disease. Sahi mtu anakuwa stress. Just being a Kenyan ni kama kuambiwa una suffer from depression. So to cut all these things, mimi Kenya nilikuwa nasema for now the 2022 vote ilikuwa vote against the dynasty. Now, if vote against the dynasty, the people wanted us to have all the historical injustices looked at. Now, wametufail. Walienda back, wakaingia kwa ofisi, na when they went back to the office, they formed their own formation, na wakaanza kukuja. Sasa wenye hawakuwa nayo, wale wachache wenye walikuwa wanalia in opposition, wakaanza kugawana. So these people, sisi as citizens, the people who are not in such positions, ndio sahi tunaona pana. So if this tunaenda round and round and round, how about our grandchildren? How about them? How will they nini? So mimi kwa sahi nitakatia hapo kwa sababu nimerant kidogo, nimeenda out of the line kidogo. Wacha mtu mwingine aongee. When we get another time in future, I'll talk so much. But sahi wacha tu mtu mwingine aongee Mkenya. Nini tutaongea baadaye. Asante. Mkenya umepotea?
No, sijapotea. It's that nilikuwa nataka kuallow President Aaron nani Mumia a reply, then we can have Dr. Swa. So President ulikuwa unaongea then uka drop for whatever reason. I don't know.
You can hear me now, I hope.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for this space. My name is Harrison Mumia, President of the Atheists in Kenya Society. I want to appreciate the efforts actually all Kenyans are making in trying to bring about change. Na kuna kitu nataka kusema. Gen Z are doing a very, very good job. But I just want to give context of where we are coming from as a country. From the time we got independence, I can tell you, people have always died trying to bring about change. You will recall that just 10 years ago, is it 15 years ago, over 2,000 people died when there were elections and Kibaki was declared the president in State House at night. Some of you maybe were a bit young, but me, I'm Generation X. And I'm one of the people who, among very many others, we went to the streets, we carried stones, we burnt tires, because we were not happy with that kind of electoral process. And of course, that led to some few changes. That is actually led to the speeding up of drafting of this new constitution. In 2013, again, despite the fact that Uhuru was declared winner, Kenyans protested. And by the way, people died. You'll recall in 2017, the death of Msando. Msando has not been accounted for. Baby Pendo alishutiwa hapa nini? What is this place called? He was just shot by yes, but we don't know where whoever shot Baby Pendo, hatujui yuko wapi. Whoever killed Msando, we don't know where they are. So I just want to give context that we are not dealing with an issue that has begun today. The issues we have, unemployment is not today's problem. And I want to tell Gen Z, there are many people who are standing with the Gen Zs who are going to the streets. I want us to look at this issue from the perspective of all Kenyans want actually a better country. The parents, I've heard somebody talking about the education system. It is the parents who are actually suffering when the education system is rotten, when the children cannot get jobs. Right now, a lot of children have to stay at home. Umegraduate, hauna job, utafanya nini? You can't leave your parents' home. You can't start a family. There is no security. Your parents who are now retired have to use their pension to take care of you. So whatever is happening is supposed to make the lives of all Kenyans bearable. And if you look at again, I want to appreciate Gen Z, but I also want to appreciate the there are people even in the diaspora who are sending money to various groups. I represent the atheists in Kenya society. We collected money to support people who are protesting, including some of our members who felt they have to be part of the protests. And so what I'm trying to say is the change that we are looking for is a change for the entire country, not just the young people or a certain generation of people. We want even our grandmothers, our grandfathers, our fathers, our mothers. My mom is 70 years, she's retired. I want in her retirement, she should not be sasa apande matatu, akuje Nairobi aanze kupanda matatu. There should be a way they are given some, we should even improve things like the transport system. We should have, for people who are of a certain age, they should be getting public transport for free, just like in developed countries. In Kenya, if you don't have employment, you're doomed. In developed countries, if you don't have employment, you are given some money to take care of, because they are trying to make sure people don't fall into poverty. In Kenya, without a job, you're doomed. You don't have you don't have food, you don't have rent, so you are actually finished. Yeah. So I worked for the Central Bank of Kenya myself, and I want to give you some idea of how government operates at the central bank. But then I got fired, and I'm in court right now. And I'm going to teach central bank a very big lesson. The court is coming. The matter is coming to a close very soon. But I want to say this: at the central bank, I saw nepotism at work. Na mimi nataka niwaambie what is happening in government. When you see these people at Ruto ameshinda elections, what they do, this thing is for them. Wale watu wanapata job kwa government. If you go to central bank right now and you see the people employed there, I was there. It is the who is who in this country. Somebody is a relative to some minister, a relative to a judge, a relative to the president, and even the promotions. It is very amazing. List your promotion in Akuja. You just see. You have been working there, but somebody was employed yesterday and he becomes a manager. If you look at the name of that person, I can name one person one name that happened. This was a relative of the former, the Uhuru government, one of those people. Gadesha, who knows the Gadesha family? One of the daughters. So it is actually a whole system we are fighting. If you ask me, I will say this: Parliament has to be dissolved. Why should Parliament be dissolved? Because that is a stumbling block to this the progress we need. Parliament needs to be dissolved because Parliament has an oversight over budgetary issues, over disbursement of money to counties, and of course over things like impeachment of governors, on corruption issues, and impeachment of even the president. Because to be honest, if Parliament was a parliament for the people, when people are being abducted and shot, this is the time to impeach the president. This is the time a motion should come on the floor. You know, to impeach. Either that, or the president should also dissolve parliament, in my view. Because what we want is we want the entire system to crumble and Kenyans elect new leaders. This is the only way forward. I don't see another way forward. I don't think we need to sit down and discuss anything with this government. I want to sympathize with those who have lost their lives. And this has been happening for a long time. We, as a society, we are calling upon not just the people who have died this time round for justice for them, but the people who have died all the way from the 1990s. There are reports lying in parliament. If you go there, you'll find a commission of inquiry. Those who remember what the President Moi used to do, commission of inquiry, a report is done, inawekwa mahali. We have those reports there. Why can't we retrieve those reports? And let's see, can we be able to get something out of them? Because the injustice that has been going on in this country has been going on for a long time. A long time. Finally, let me say this. I won't stay for long. Let me say this. There is something called religion that is being used by our politicians to try and get to power. President Ruto, and this I must say, President Ruto came to power in part on account of his religious positioning. A man of God, a man who reads the Bible, he knows all the verses of the Bible. He was a Sunday school, I don't know what, and every time he went to campaign, he used to say, tuko na Mungu, sijui nini, all that nonsense. We need to be critical thinkers. I would love for Kenyans to rise above petty religious positioning of these politicians. The fact that somebody is positioning themselves religiously does not mean they are good leaders. And you can see even what's happening right now. I saw a video today of the wife of the president, regarding this other lady anaitwa nani? Bibi ya huyu vice president, sijui deputy anaitwa nani? Somebody Gashagwa. I saw him talking about she's a pastor. So I saw her,
Dorcas.
Dorcas Rigathi. She's a pastor, and you see her and the wife of the president. They are always, they have been given funds in the name of a first lady, and all they are doing is just talking about God. There's nothing they are doing, even after us, those funds being unconstitutional under the law of the land. So we must be a country of critical thinkers. And I think in the next election, let nobody stand on the pulpit or use religion to hoodwink Kenyans. Chapter 6 is very clear. A good leader must, number one, not have any criminal offense. All these people have criminal offenses, including the deputy president. Rigathi Gachagua is just because you're deputy president, but this guy was actually in court several times on charges of stealing billions of shillings. We know William Ruto. Who doesn't know William Ruto? The scandals. Who doesn't know? But you see, one way or the other, he got to the presidency. So we have a lot of cleaning up to do. I think the fight is just beginning. It will take time. It will take various methods. There are so many players who are playing different roles in all these things. But I just want to say we are fighting for everybody. Gen Z is playing their part. Gen X is playing their part. Our parents are playing their part. There are people outside the country who are playing their part. There are doctors who are treating the people who are demonstrating for free. We have people providing water for free. We have content creators who are doing a very good job in the social media. We have people in the media. Remember now the media is becoming more combative and more, if you look at the interviews, We have people like I saw yesterday this guy who came up with a very good proposal. My brother, this comedian Omondi, anaitwa nani huyu jamaa? Not Omondi. This guy, somebody remind me the name of the comedian.
Oh, not
He said, the brother of the late Omondi. This anyway, you know what I'm talking about.
Eric Omondi.
He said, Omondi said yesterday that we don't need the 48 counties in Kenya. If you, he gave a good example. It only has one governor, and it's a very huge economy in terms of GDP. So we need to reduce the MPs, the governors, the women reps. This guy actually came up with very good points. There's no point of us having women reps. There's actually no point of us all the 49 governors and their deputies. There's no point. I don't see the point. We don't need that bloated governance yenye tuko nayo. Even the MCAs, we need to rethink, what are we doing? We are paying all these people to represent us. To represent us for what? What are they representing?